Minimalists.
What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of?
We're talking about fear today, and we've got some questions about fear, but what are you afraid
of? Everything, man. Everything. I'm afraid of failure.
Okay.
I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of not being significant. I'm afraid of people falling out of love with me. I'm afraid of everything, dude. I mean, I know that I come across as pretty confident, but it's like if I don't have that confidence, then I just crawl in a ball and just hide from society, I guess, man.
Yeah, because that's the alternative, and it's not a pretty alternative.
Yeah.
It's not a meaningful alternative.
No.
It's not one that you'll find purpose or joy in either. You might find momentary pacification or momentary comfort or maybe long-term comfort, but that's often the problem. Comfort is the place where we go and die. It's really comfortable in that grave. And we don't experience life there, quite literally, but also figuratively.
But you know what's great about any of those fears? Like when you can overcome the fear, man, like it feels so good. Like landing that jump. I mean, I don't think I would not hit that same jump again. Like, even though I landed it, like I would not be like, oh, now I can hit that jump every single time.
Remember our friend,
but the feeling of accomplishment was just like overwhelmingly awesome.
Our friend Leo Babalta wrote a blog post years ago called Joy Fear. He made up this new word.
Yeah.
And it reminds me what you're talking about. Getting to the other side of that fear is where the accomplishment, the joy comes from quite often. And I think about, we took, remember earlier this year, we took Ella down to Disneyland. And also your friend's daughter. What was her name?
Little Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe.
Yeah, Kelsey's kid. We took it was Zoe, it was Ella, and then Olya, her son.
Yeah,
Sasha.
Our friend Olya. Sasha, yeah. And
the first ride we took him to was Pinocchio. Come on. That's the first ride we took him to.
They were terrified.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, of Geppetto and
right. Of things they weren't supposed to be terrified of.
Right.
But what I'm remembering is, and you can actually, I think you can still find this on my personal Instagram. It's at Joshua Fields Milburn.
Oh, yes.
Under the highlights of Ella, there is this photo of, we got on the log flume. What was it called? I forget what it's called.
Splash Mountain.
Yeah, it's Splash Mountain, and it's me, Bex, and Ella in this car together, and you can see me. I'm up front, like and right behind me is Ella, and the look on her face is perfectly encapsulated with that one word: joy, fear.
It is.
She is on the edge of terror, but also on the edge of elation, hysteria. Extreme joy.
I'm just thinking about that picture, dude. That is
well, and then I zoomed in.
Can we put a link to that?
Yeah,
is that possible?
I think so. Sean, if you can at least put a link to my Instagram, you can find the highlights there at the top, I believe. It was an Instagram story that I put up. I actually had to buy the photo off of them because they took it off of the thing. But anyway, and then I zoomed in, but you could really see the joy, fear on her face.
Yeah.
And what a perfect metaphor. In order to experience the joy, you have to get through that. You have to push right against the edge. It wasn't so terrifying that it was a terrible experience. So let's keep that in mind.
She wanted to ride it again.
Well, during it, she was on the edge of like, oh my God, I don't know if I want this.
Right.
But as she got to the other side, then it was, I have to do this again.
Right.
I have to do it again. All right, well, we do have some questions today.
Well, hold on. What are you scared of?
Oh.
Nothing. You're bulletproof.
I'm just terrified of 90s white rappers.
Because they will slay your ass.
Yeah, I was thinking, Jojo Pellegrino and
he would tear you up in a rap battle.
Milkbone and MC Serch.
Seriously, man, what are you scared of, dude?
Well, I think my answer to this a few years ago to be different from now. I used to be really afraid of being forgotten. Whether it was in personal relationships or in writing or whatever, but it's such an irrational fear because if you pan out far enough, we're all going to be forgotten.
Right.
George Washington is going to be forgotten. Henry David Thoreau is going to be forgotten. Seneca is going to be forgotten. On a long enough timeline, Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad are all going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I'm going to be forgotten too, right?
Yeah.
You pan out long enough, 10,000 years years from now, 100,000 years from now, doesn't matter. There's some time frame where all of humanity is going to be forgotten.
So you're not scared of anything now?
Well, no, I mean, what I'm saying is that helped me sort of put it in perspective to a great extent. Like, there are rational fears and there are irrational fears. And a lot of my fears now, whenever I come across them, I realize how irrational they are. It's the fear of not being significant. It is quite often that is an extension of what I was just talking about there. But it's often like, well, I want to be significant. I want to do something. But really what I'm saying there is I want to do something meaningful while I am here.
Yeah.
It's not a fear of being forgotten. It's not a fear of not being significant. It's a fear of wasting my time, really.